Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my super spooky special super anime review. Since it's October and I do love Halloween, I thought I'd do some super spooky videos leading up to Halloween. And to kick it all off, I'll be starting with the ultra spooky horror anime YAMISHIBAI. So I've seen YAMISHIBAI pop up often, and it has been recommended to me before, but it was only recently that I actually got around to watching it so that I could then review it. The episodes are only around 4 minutes long, so it's not your usual 20-minute long anime episode, no. And the format is self-contained horror stories. It has a very unique style. It's cool. So let's have a look at episode 1.
寄ってらっしゃい、見てらっしゃい。
Well, we start off creepy enough. There is a masked storyteller telling a creepy story to some children on a playground. So the creepy guy is our narrator. Are we the children then? And each episode he will tell us a new spooky story. A man moves into an apartment and he sees a talisman on the ceiling and he takes it down. And then he notices a woman staring at him through his window from her window. And in the morning he sees her again and she creeps him out, so he flees. And then after work he goes home and he sees his door's unlocked. He figures he must have left it unlocked. But then he sees a talisman on the ceiling again.
And you became skeleton and wrote this!
He goes to take it off and the creepy woman appears. But then he calls the cops and they take her away. There we go, happy ending. No, actually, he realises that there are tons of talismans stuck on the underside of his table. So he rips them all off. And then he sees lots of ghosts. The end. That's actually it. That's the end of the episode. 4 minutes, 30 seconds long. Cool little outro song. A kind of predictable short ghost story, but oh well. The moral of the story is if there's a creepy lady putting talismans in your room, then let her do it, because she's probably keeping creepy ghosts at bay. Let's move on to the next one. The next story is about a man who goes on a business trip. He falls down a cliff and wakes up in hospital with a broken leg. Oh, shiroi. Luckily, someone from a creepy ass village found him. Always beware of creepy villages, especially fishing villages. He's looking at you, Bloodborne. There are creepy people in the hospital and they mutter about not wanting to let him leave, but he does leave. And then as he leaves, he sees the creepy people doing a banzai cheer for him. But wait, they're not shouting banzai. The driver recognises it. They're saying sambai. And then... Well, that was pretty dumb. I like the outro though. I can't tell if this story is meant to be scary or funny. I would say it leans towards funny more so. Kind of like a comedy horror rather than horror. Also, I looked up Zanbai. It means you will die. Episode 3. The Family Rule. A boy moves back to the countryside with his parents. People gather and tell his parents that they need to laugh until morning, a very strange condition. And we hear of a he. Spooky! On this night every year, the entire family must laugh all night to ward off this evil spirit, or something like that. So tonight, this little boy must sleep alone because his parents have to laugh all night with the rest of the family. Lol. But then the little boy wakes up to pee. Yeah, I know those feelings, buddy. And of course he hears all the laughing. And he opens the door and sees everyone wearing creepy clown makeup. And then a creepy creature appears from the bushes and attacks. The end. Well, the formula of these episodes is pretty formulaic. But I'm still not scared. Episode 4. Hair. And I'm not joking, that is the name of the episode. Okay, so a teacher who has to work late one day. She photocopies something, but it comes out with lines across it. And us, knowing the title of the episode is Hair, knows that it's hair. But then she sees a creepy face with long hair in the photocopier very briefly. Oh my god, how many times am I going to say the word hair in this episode? She tries again, and it's fine. But then, loads more copies come out, with all black lines across them. More and more each time, and it won't stop, until she unplugs it. And she looks inside again. There's lots of hair all inside the photocopier. How didn't she notice this before? But then the hair gets sucked back inside the photocopier, and she opens it up to find nothing. But then the creepy girl is behind the copier. The end. Well, these stories are pretty quirky and kind of funny in a predictable, not scary horror story way. And they have a unique style, but still not scary. Episode 5, The Next Floor. A family goes shopping for their son's birthday. The dad gets called into work, so he has to leave, so the mother and son continue shopping without him. The dad takes the elevator to leave, but ends up on a dark, mysterious floor. All the people creepily exit, and then they reach an even creepier floor, and the elevator lady turns out to be a doll. And then the dad finally gets to a seemingly safe floor, except that it's not. And then the father gets left alone on the creepy floor, possibly forever? Yeah, I guess that episode was creepier. Had a good, cool, creepy atmosphere. Good stuff. Episode 6, The Overhead Rack. A man who does nothing but work. He's tired and grumpy too. So basically, he's me. Then he sees a Binding of Isaac monster on the shelf of the train. And there's an accident and the train grinds to a halt. And all the lights turn off. And our protagonist sees the big red Cronenberg monster again. And he starts going mad. The end? No idea about that one. I mean, I would say the monster is meant to represent his stress. Except that it's actually a horror story and it's a monster and he dies, probably? I don't know. Next one. Episode 7, Contradiction. A woman receives a phone call late at night from her friend, who went to a haunted, deserted hospital with a guy. He broke into a locked room and then he started acting weird. Possession, perhaps? And she then ran away. But then she starts talking really weirdly on the phone. And then the guy appears at the first character's door. Except that he's saying that it was the girl who was possessed that started acting weird. But then she answers the door, and the guy is possessed. The end. They were both possessed, I guess. Episode 8. The Umbrella Goddess. A boy visits his friend who has moved out to the country. Then he sees a woman with an umbrella. That's pretty normal. But wait, it's not raining. Could it be Michael Jackson? He mentions to the friend and his friend's father that he saw a woman holding an umbrella. And then the father panics and mentions the Umbrella Goddess. He then tells the boy to stay locked in a room and not to open the door no matter what. But his friend appears with snacks, and he opens the door for him. Ruh-roh. His friend then leaves and returns, asking him to open the door again, except this time it's definitely not his friend. She. The ghost says, she. It's cool. That might be my new catchphrase. I like it. But the kid survives the night and wakes up in the morning. But then the umbrella woman appears behind him anyway. And this time the narrator actually narrates the ending, which I think is new for this episode. Omoshiroi. Again. Episode 9. Cursed. A girl and her grandmother suffer from a curse. It looks like it's rotting away their skin or something. The mother takes the girl to a temple. The monks or priests attempt to help. The curse appears to be banished. A happy ending? Surely not. But then we find out that the priestess died. The curse was passed to her, but then the curse reappears on the girl. Ah, what a shame. Episode 10. The Moon. High school baseball team, staying at a training lodge, doing hard training. One of them mentions that they've been here before, but our protagonist can't remember it. Apparently he fell into the toilet. He now goes to the toilet, and he looks up at the moon, and he remembers falling into the toilet. This kind of sounds ridiculous as I say it. And he remembers there being some creepy creature down there, and he looks down, and he sees the creature. And then the door opens, and for some reason, the creature starts to emerge from the toilet. The end. Well, the stories are getting more disturbing. Less funny, more disturbing, but still quirky. If it keeps going this way, we might get some actual scary stories before the end of the season. Episode 11. The Ring. Video. Definitely not The Ring. 3 school kids are studying together, and they watch a video with a ghost on it. And we see a graveyard. One kid sees what looks like a face by the gravestone. Kind of shitty ghost face though. And then the other kids see an actual figure at the back of the graveyard. The other 2 go silent and the ghost disappears. Even when our protagonist rewinds the tape. But then he finds it. It's moved closer to the screen. And when he turns around, his friends have turned into the ghost. The end. That was kind of cooler. Yeah, that was a better episode. Better atmosphere. The final episode. Wait, no, it's not the final episode. It's episode 12. There were 13 episodes. Okay. The pre-final episode. Didn't I do this with Digimon Adventure 2020? I thought that, like, the episode before the final episode was the final episode. Anyway, episode 12, Tomonari. There is a high school girl and some young boys, and the boys are looking at Tomonari. What is Tomonari? It is a weird shadow on the floor. The boys act like it's talking to them, and they tell the girl she should play with Tomonari. She leaves and she says, maybe next time. Next time the kids are there again with Tomonari. They ask if she can play with them, but she has work. They protest because she promised them last time, but she leaves anyway. Uh-oh. Is Tomonari angry? The kids appear at her house. They ask if Tomonari is there. Tomonari said he was going to her house. Tomonari has appeared on her ceiling. And then a figure starts coming out of the shadow, saying that she promised, and it eats her up as the kids watch. Whoa. Now there are 2 shadows instead of 1. This one had a proper ending. Like, we saw the, not really gruesome, but we saw the horrific ending to our protagonist. She's now trapped as a shadow, whereas the others were all kind of left open-ending, you know? Spooky ghost appears behind somebody, the end, we don't see them die. In this, we actually saw her get devoured into a shadow in the ceiling. That's pretty cool. Okay, now it's the final episode, your main event, if you will, episode 13, The Tormentor. A group of boys with binoculars spying on a house. Apparently, there is a tormentor in that house. A tormentor is something that you shouldn't look at. And they see people coming out of the house wearing blindfolds, and there is somebody dancing at the entrance, but then the kid who sees the person dancing goes mental and he walks off. The other kid drops off the binoculars to his house, but the kid's parents tell him that the kid can't play with them anymore. He's gone insane. The father then tells the kid to keep the binoculars as a souvenir. The kid then looks through the binoculars at his friend's house and he sees the dad. Then he starts dancing and going weird and speeds towards the screen. As in, he speeds towards the kid with the binoculars. The end. Super quirky. Not so scary. Kind of funny. Very funny, actually. Like, the dancing is very funny. But that's it. That's the end of Season 1 of YAMISHIBAI. Oh man, there's actually a ton more of YAMISHIBAI. There are 9 seasons altogether. As I say this, there will probably be more eventually. There's almost 1 season every year. But this particular review is just for the first season. Maybe I'll do Season 2 next year. Anyway, it was fun. The episodes were all super short, so even if some of the stories kind of fell flat and didn't scare me, and maybe weren't satisfactory, it's not like I spent 20 minutes watching an episode, it was only 4 minutes. So it's like, a fun little treat, if you will. It was alright. It's a cool format. Apparently it received mixed reviews, and yeah, I can see why. I like this style of the show. It's pretty cool, and I look forward to watching Season 2. But I can't say that it was effectively scary. Like, if I was going to grade it for fear factor, it'd probably get like a D, because it's not very scary at all. But overall, I will grade it a C grade. It was short and fun. The creepy, scary style they go for is cool, even if it doesn't actually scare me or creep me out. So it gets my recommendation. It's short and unique. It's short, it's cool, and it's unique. So it won't even take that much time to watch it. Don't watch it expecting to be scared shitless though. No. There are plenty of other things that will do that better. And hopefully I shall cover them as we progress through October. Until then, see you next time. Episode 4. Hair. Teacher has to work late. Not very scary. Normal day so far. But then she photocopies some work. But there are weird scary lines on it. How scary. And what was that? She thought she saw a super scary face inside printer. But can't be not sure. Better photocopy it again, she thinks. This time it's fine. But then she didn't want that many copies. Oh no. The creepy lines are creepily back again. More creepy lines that look like creepy hair. How creepy. Then she has a good idea. She unplugs photocopier. Then opens up photocopier. There's lots of hair inside. But then the hair gets sucked back in and everything is fine. Until the creepy face from earlier is back. But outside the photocopier. Oh no. The end.